Hi, I'm Norma Gale. Thank you for joining me this week. Our topic today is Easter and quarantine, hope for a frightened world. We're going to start off with Philippians 3:10. I want to know Christ and the power of his resurrection. On the first Easter, Jesus' disciples didn't proclaim the good news of salvation to the world. They were hiding behind locked doors in fear, much like our quarantine from the COVID-19 virus. This Sunday, we won't be dressing in our finest and gathering in our churches to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Yet even in quarantine, we as Christians can proclaim hope of our living Redeemer to those around us. First, we must give our fear to the Lord. It is a fearful time for all of us. Precautions and obedience to the laws that are intended to keep us safe are wise. Hiding in fear of death isn't. Just before raising Lazarus from the dead, Jesus said to Martha, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believes in me will live, even though he dies. And whoever lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this? This is the same question that Jesus would ask of us today. He didn't welcome the suffering he had to endure any more than we welcome the thought of the coronavirus striking us or our families. But he prayed for God's will, not his own. Mark reports that Jesus addressed God as Daddy. He prayed, Abba, Father, everything is possible for you. Take this cup from me. If we truly believe that we have already passed from death to life, we know that God is in control no matter what trials come. True faith is trust in the midst of turmoil. There is no shame in sharing our fears about the pandemic with friends and with family. Common concerns offer a basis to explain the hope that we have within us. When Jesus appeared following his resurrection, he told the disciples to be at peace, to not fear. The resurrection of Jesus Christ isn't only a historical event, it's power. Ephesians 1:18 through 20 says believers have an incomparably great power. The mighty power that raised Jesus from the dead lives within us as a believer in Jesus Christ. However, in order for that power to be evident in our lives, we must die to self, lay our fears at Jesus' feet, and walk in his peace, offering hope to a frightened world. The disciples were fearless following Jesus' resurrection. No, we can't invite friends and family to church today. We can write notes to unbelievers and share the reason for our trust in God. Perhaps we could invite them to watch an online service. Maybe even a Christian film is something they might be more comfortable with than coming to church with us. And afterwards, we can discuss it and answer their questions. Our hope is certain. 1 Peter 2:6 says, See, I lay a stone in Zion, a chosen and precious cornerstone, and the one who trusts in him will never be put to shame. Jesus is that cornerstone. We will come through this pandemic as stronger, more confident Christians if we focus on the one who overcame death by the power of the resurrection, rather than hiding in fear. Thank you for joining me today. I'll be back next week, and I look forward to seeing you then. Bye.